So here we are again, another episode of the breakdown. Got two matches to talk about today, so I'll get on with it. So first match to talk about was the Fish Midlands semi-final. So I come up for a little practice match on the Thursday before. Felt like I learned a few things about to catch the new stocky F1s that are in there, and there's a lot of older carp as well. So felt like I learned a little bit. Most of the fish was caught short, the new stockies, and then an odd carp mugged. It was very hot that day. So on to the actual Fish Midlands semi-final then. It was on Sycamore Lake. 15 out of the 30 went through. So after the practice match, I felt like I learned enough to be confident that I was going to get through. Went in the bag, drew peg 1, which was an end peg. So really sort of thought to myself, right, end peg, really fancy this to get through. Set everything up that I thought I needed. They called all in. Started the match short. Put a little ball of micros in. Fishing an expander over the top. Started like that, which is how I caught my F1s in practice. Started like that. About 30 minutes have gone by and I've not had an indication, not had a bite. And I was thinking, God, what's happening here? The bloke next to me's had like one, maybe two little stocky F1s, but for the sort of 3 or 4 pegs by me, no one was really catching. There was an odd fish caught in the middle. I think Matty Dawes had a couple of carp early down the edge. But other than that, it was really slow, really hard. So I thought, right, don't waste any more time. Let's stick another section on. So I put another section on, started again. Never had a bite there for 20 minutes. And was really starting to panic at this point because it was like 50 minutes of the match gone. So made a decision. I thought, right, I'm going to go out longer. Fed a line at 11 metres, off at a slight angle. In the same sort of depth as that sort of top 5, top 6 line. Fed that. Fished it for about 15 minutes. Finally had an indication and caught a little F1. To be honest with you, it wasn't great, but by keeping the feed going in and keeping working the rig, I was starting to get an odd bite, which when I was looking at people around me, no one was catching anything. So I started getting an odd bite, and I thought to myself, I set myself a target at the start of the day of 40 new F1s and like 3 to 4 carp. I thought that would guarantee me getting in, but as I was looking down the lake, it was fishing a lot harder than what it was in practice. So, it could have been a little bit lower than that. But anyway, I've tried mugging fish. I've hooked one mug in, which come off. I don't know whether he was hooked around the outskirts of the mouth or something, but I've had him. He's pulled the elastic out, and he just come off. He had one really good run, and then he just come off. So I lost that one mug in. Mid-match, I did chuck a feeder for a little bit, and I caught 2 little tiny stocky F1s on that. But that line at 11 metres is where I've caught most of my fish. I've had 30 F1s, or 33 F1s, I think it was, and 1 carp, which I caught on that line, on that 11 metre line, on my F1 gear. So I was lucky to get that in, really. But come away, and I thought I only had sort of 20 to 25 pound. I've ended up weighing 30 pound dead, and to be honest with you, I was really disappointed. I felt like I worked hard and fished a really good match, but I was really disappointed because I felt like I should have done better. I felt like the little bit of practice I put in, I sort of knew what I was doing, and then come the match, it was totally different. So I was a bit gutted, to be honest, and I felt like my chance had gone. But I've started packing all my stuff away, putting it in the van, and sort of sulking a little bit. And I got all my tackle away, and I walked around to the other side, and I was like halfway down the other side when I walked around. And I said, "Oh, what's sort of winning?" And I think £60 was winning at that point. And I said, "Oh, fair play, it was a good weight on the day. I was £60." And Jamie Hughes just weighed in when I got there, and he weighed like £62, I think it was. And I think Mitch Davison weighed 60 odd. So I had a little glance at the board, thinking, I wonder what the weights are. And it's fished really hard, really hard. And I was looking down the list, and I thought, God, there's not many big weights on it, and I couldn't sort of see it long enough to work out where I was in the match. But waited till the last two had weighed in, and I said to the gentleman, any chance I can have a look at the board? And I looked at the board, and I counted down the board, and I counted 15 that I had beaten. So I thought, oh yes, I've just sneaking in. So I'm just sneaking in. But when we got back down to the results, I actually ended up 12th. So I just got in by the skin of my teeth with £30, and I think 26 or 27 pounds last in. So that carp I got out was really what done it for me. You know, just got in. I made the final, so that's what I wanted to do. That was the main objective, but the match didn't go as I planned. Now, talking about the breakdown and talking about how you sort of go look back on your matches and things you would have done different, it did fish very different to what it was in practice. One thing I think I missed a trick on is, because everyone caught short on the practice match, I didn't set up any really long lines, and I think, looking back on it, I should have fished a few lines of 13 or 14 metres and maybe ping some fours over it and put a little ball of micros in and ping some fours, just to give me somewhere in that deep water to rest my other lines, because the only place I caught fish was in that deeper water. I felt like I needed somewhere else to go, so I missed a bit of a trick there. I think I should have fished another line or another two lines in the deeper water. So that I think that's one thing I would have definitely done different. Another thing that I think would have made a difference, and I didn't do it, is I plumbed up long down my edge, because I was on an end. I had an end bank to fish to. I plumbed up long down there, and it was very, very sort of rocky, and the bottom wasn't very nice, and I decided to fish shorter because the bottom was nicer. So I decided to fish sort of 6 metres down the edge, and I had an odd carp come in there and swirl, so I had an odd fish coming in there, but I never actually caught one. The bloke opposite me done really, really well, Craig Meadows. He's fished 16 metres down the edge, big potted chromebait, sat there with corn on the hook and just waited and waited and waited, and when he caught one, it was a great big thing. Being very patient. Looking back, I think that's what I should have done. I should have fished in slightly deeper water, not tried to get into tight to the bank where it was all rocky and horrible. I should have fished slightly deeper water. I should have big potted bait there. I maybe fished for big carp there. I think I might have caught one or two big old fish doing that. So I think I definitely missed a trick there. I tried to catch them shorter. It didn't work. And I think I should have been better off doing that. Anything else? Maybe through maggot short. You know, that sort of top 5 line. I started off with micros and expanders there, but I think when I didn't get any bites, I think I probably should have loose fed maggots there, changed it to a maggot line and fed maggots quite heavy for later on, and I might have caught an odd F1 or an odd big carp doing that, but because I was really concentrating on trying to catch these F1s because I was way behind, so it sort of like slipped my mind to do it, and I think that's another thing that I should have done. So three big things in our match that I feel if I had done, I think I would have caught a few more fish. Maybe an extra 10 to 15 pound, which would have got me, you know, 45 to 50 pound maybe, and I would have been comfortably through then. But things I think I did right was I fished lighter on my F1 rigs. I think that made a difference. Feeding little balls of micros was definitely better than feeding 4 mils. So that was another thing I felt like I learned from the practice, and it was a lot better. On the feeder, I only caught 2 fish on the feeder, but it was definitely better chucking off the island. You know, I had one feeder tight and one feeder off. I checked the one tight probably 5 or 6 times, never a bite. Chucked the one off, 2 chucks on her, and I had 2 F1s, so that was definitely better, chucking it off the island. But, you know, done a few things right, but I feel like I missed the trick on a few things as well. But I managed to sneak in, do you mean, by the skin of my teeth? So I'm in that final, Fish Midlands final, and hopefully in the final I'll do a little bit better. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see with that. But it's one of those matches today where it hasn't really gone to plan. Do you mean? You know, everyone loves the all singing, all dancing, winning posts on Facebook, but this is one that didn't really go to plan, and I've just about got away with. So that's the breakdown for the Fish Midlands practice and Fish Midlands semi. So I hope you enjoyed it, maybe learned a little bit from my mistakes and what I've learned, and hopefully you'll catch a pile of fish if you have learned a little bit. So we'll go again. Next stop is the Fishing Association final, which I'll do a breakdown on that as well, because that's quite an interesting one, because I've not been there. So I've never been there. It's too far for me to go up and practice now. It's 5 hours away, 5.5 hours. So that's another one I'm gonna do a little bit of a breakdown after the final, and you know, we'll see how we get on with that one. But cheers for watching. Like I always say, drop us a like and a subscribe. Hit the notification button, and it'll give you notifications when I put new videos up, so you don't miss out on any of these breakdowns, any of my tackle room talks, or any of my live matches. Cheers guys, see you on the bank soon.